everybody! Today we are going for another recipe from Namiko Chen's Just One Cookbook. I will have the link below in the description so you can go ahead and make this at home yourself. Today we're making Mitarashi Dango, and we are going to need, which I had to get from Amazon because I could not find these in my local Asian markets, but I did try. This is the shira tamako, which is a glutinous sweet rice. This is the joshinko, which is a glutinous rice flour. And these together are going to make our little rice balls super sticky and the right consistency that we need. For our glaze, we're going to take soy sauce, mirin, cornstarch, which I've already measured out because it's super messy, and sugar. The first thing we're going to do is boil a pot of water. So we're going to plop you over to the stove here. So what I've done here is I've just put our pot of water on the stove, and it is on low. We're going to bring it to a boil slowly while we do the rest of the work. Back over at our workstation. Sorry, my kitchen is not really set up for filming. Bear with me. So our second step is to combine the joshinko and the shira tamako with a little bit of warm water, exactly 150 milliliters, which I have measured out on a scale. So what I've done is I've combined the joshinko and the shira tamako. I spilled a little bit, don't tell anybody. And we're going to add the water in now. And we're just going to do a little bit at a time, so I'm just going to add, I already did a little bit, I'm going to do a little bit more. And she does mention that depending on where you live, you may need more or less water depending on the climate. Like if you live in a drier climate, you may need more water than she uses, and a more, oh there we go, and if you live in like a more humid climate, you might need less water. We've made it kind of clumpy. That's what you want, like it's all clumperino. Then we're going to take our hand and form it into a ball, and then from there knead it until it gets smooth. And she's saying that the texture is going to be like squeezing an earlobe. So guess we'll compare to that. So it looks like she's going to need the whole thing like inside the bowl, and mine's still a little too small. So we're going to get a bigger bowl. Bigger bowl to the rescue. We're kneading it till it feels like an earlobe. Great, wonderful. It does kind of feel like an earlobe. It has texture of like a marshmallow. Doesn't smell like a marshmallow, it just smells kind of like nothing. So I think it's the right consistency. Feels like my earlobe. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this ball, look at him, he's beautiful. Just a gorgeous piece of dough. So what we're going to do is take this ball, divide it into 2 balls, and then keep going from there until we have 16 equally sized balls, which we are, of course, going to use our handy dandy scale to measure. So what I'm doing now is just putting them all into little balls. Boop. And getting them to be 20 grams each. The first time I actually had Mitarashi Dango was in Japan. My friend and I were staying at this hotel in Shinagawa, and right down the road from it, basically you walk down like the pathway, which was the entrance to the hotel, and it's like lined with this brick wall that had just these, I think they were purple flowers growing on it. It was a very pretty walk. But basically you ended up at a convenience store. It might have been a 7-Eleven. Don't quote me, I don't remember. It was a while ago. And they had Mitarashi Dango, but it was in like a vacuum sealed pack. Oh, 20 grams. And I bought it, didn't know what it was, but it looked pretty good, so I was like, alright, cool, whatever. And I really liked it. I ended up buying it from that convenience store a couple more times on the trip, mostly because I didn't think about it when we were out and about, because there was so much other stuff to try and to do and to see. So I'd forget about it until we saw the convenience store, until we walked in to grab like a drink or something, and I'd be like, oh, I gotta buy these again. I actually even bought some to bring home with me from Japan. I bought a pack right before we left for the airport because it was right by the train station, and this is gonna be too heavy. Yeah, way too heavy. And brought it home with me and had a little Japan with me. I brought home a couple things. I brought home melon bread, which was my favorite snack I had in Japan at that convenience store, and I've since bought it fresh from a couple Asian markets in California. When I was living there, I was able to, there was like a bakery, actually in New York City as well when I went to visit. There was found a bakery in both places and was able to get my melon bread fix. It's very good. It's like sweet but not too sweet. It's like soft and chewy, but also, I don't know how to explain it. It's just very good. I don't know if we'll be making that. Look at those Mitarashi Dango. Don't they look nice? What you want to do is put them in like a continuous motion because you want to cook them all at the same time so that they start to float to the top at the same time. What's going to happen, like I said, all in one continuous motion. Boop, boop. So we are going to let these cook. Once they start to float, what you want to do is like scoop them up as soon as they float to the top. You want to put it into the ice bath. It feels really good. I'm really warm. So they stop cooking. Then from there we're going to transfer them to a plate, which should have some water on it so that the dango don't stick. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just pouring a bit of water onto the plate. Right here, this is the plate the dango were on. And I'm just kind of zhuzhing it around so that when we put the dango back on here, they don't stick. They probably will stick to the bottom a little bit, so just give them a little zhuzh to make sure that they're not making too good of friends with the bottom of the pan. So I'm just going to go ahead and read something literally straight from Namiko Chen's website, just about the origin of the Mitarashi Dango, because while I enjoy eating it, I don't know much about it. So Mitarashi Dango was originated from the Kamo Mitarashi tea house in Kyoto, and the dango was thought to be made as an offering to the gods. And the name Mitarashi comes from the bubbles that were in the purifying water placed at the entrance of a shrine. Street vendors in Kyoto started selling dango as a snack, and it became super popular. Now, like I said, you'll find Mitarashi Dango being sold in convenience stores and like all around the country. Like I said, we were in Shinagawa, which is not really near Kyoto, and I was able to find them in just the convenience store. So you're able to find them in many, many places, or make them in your very own kitchen, just like me. Oh yeah, look at them, they're floating to the tippy toppy top. So it is 10:01 right now. We are gonna cook them until 10:03. Hello. Are you supervising? This is my supervisor. He's just coming to make sure that everything is in tip-top shape and that I'm doing everything correctly, which I appreciate because it's currently a one-person team. So, I mean, it's still a one-person team. He's a cat. But so far he approves everything we're doing. But yeah, so they are cooking. We got about 1 more minute on them. Perfect. It is 10:03. Let's scoop these bad boys out of here. Get out, little dango. Straight into the ice bath. Basically, we're just going to repeat this process until they're all in here. Perfect. We are going to let those cool. So we're going to put all of our ingredients for the sweet soy glaze in here, but we're not going to turn on the heat yet. So that includes our 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of mirin, our 150 milliliters again of water. It doesn't have to be warm or anything. It just says 150 milliliters of water. I did measure this again with my scale. It does end up being about 2/3 cup, but just to be sure you're using the exact right amount, I measured mine with my scale. So we're gonna add that in there. And then I'm adding the dry ingredients next. So we're taking our 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, putting that in the mix. Everything else was 2 tablespoons, but the sugar is 4 tablespoons. So we got a lot of sugar in there. And the reason you don't turn the heat on as you're doing this is because the cornstarch will clump. So if you mix it together first, it won't do that. So we're just gonna go ahead and mix, 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 mix. Ooh. Mine is this interesting tan color. And hers is very dark. And I'm very worried I've done something wrong. Leave a comment below if you guys have tried cooking it yourself. Let me know how it went. Just curious to know. I'm also curious to know if your sauce is this color. It's like a caramelly, now it almost looks like a tea, like a milky tea or a coffee. It's got like a lot of creamer in it, which is how I like my coffee. If you guys have had Mitarashi Dango, if you guys have tried making the recipe, or if you've been to Japan, let me know where you were in Japan, and or let me know where you were when you first tried your Mitarashi Dango. I don't know what happened. I literally just saw these dark pieces in there, and all of a sudden it's like the right color. Yeah, not sure what happened, but we're gonna go ahead and, oh, look at that consistency. Can you see it? It's very nice. Very good. So that's off to the side. Put this in the sink. I don't know why I winked about putting it in the sink, but I did. My plate still has that water on it, which is good. Let's turn the heat off of that. We're gonna go ahead and scoop out these dango because they should be nice and cool now. I thought making the soy sauce glaze was gonna take a little less time. So probably very chilled. Alright, the next step is to take a non-stick pan. I like this one. My mom cooks her eggs in it and they don't stick. Wowza! So we're gonna use this pan because I think it'll work quite well. I'm gonna do like a medium heat, pop these bad boys in here, and just long enough to give them like a little blackened spots on there for both texture and to add a little char taste to it too. I'm gonna test this by putting just like a little water from our plate on there, and it is not even sizzling, so I don't think it's ready. But now we've got some water on there, so we'll be able to know when it's ready. All right, let's see how we're doing. Oop. Yes, ma'am, that's what we want. So we're gonna go ahead and put all of our little dango on there. They're very slippy. They don't want to stay in one place. She doesn't say how long to do this for. Like I said, she just torches hers, so we're going to leave them there for a minute. So I'm just going to check them occasionally and see if they're looking a little charred. So far they're not. So we're going to let them cook up a little more. And just keep checking on our little babies, our little dango babies. See what happens. Then what we're gonna do is plate these, put that sauce over top. It's gonna be good. And like I said, these normally go on to a bamboo skewer. I forgot to buy those. So we're just gonna eat them with chopsticks, and it'll still be delicious. It just won't be the little street food snack delivery because of I'm not eating it on the go anyways. I can just eat it right now. At a table if I want to. I actually don't even know if we're going to get a char the same way we would if we used a torch, or if I popped it in the oven and broiled it. I just wanted to do it this way so you could see what I was doing. Whereas if I put it in the oven, you can't really see what's going on in there. And this camera is not made to withstand oven temperatures. Alright, so we're just gonna call these fine. They're not really charred, but they are like hard on the bottom, which I think will help with like the mixture of textures you usually get in a Mitarashi dango. So meet me back over at the counter and we'll pour our delicious sauce on there and get these plated. So we've got our little stand and we are gonna take a few of our dango. Let's do the traditional 3. Line it up as if we are going to skewer them. Boop boop. And then we're going to take this lovely sauce and just drizzle. This is beautiful. Oh my god, it smells so good. Wish I could have gotten that char look on there, but there they are. And we're going to go ahead and dive right in. See how it tastes. Mmm. Mmm. They're good. Very chewy, which is what they're supposed to be like. So I am sad that there is no char on it because I think that would add to the flavor. But the sauce is so good. I want to like drink it. I actually just want to put it on a lot of stuff. It's very tasty, and the dango is very chewy, which is the right consistency that we want. So I think all in all, we did pretty dang good job. A pretty dang good job, I'd say. So again, this is from Just One Cookbook by Namiko Chen. The link is going to be in the description below. Please let me know if you have tried to cook these, what you thought of them, and just make sure you like, subscribe. That helps me out. This is a new video series I'm doing every Monday called Monday Munchies. And is for Crossing Borders, my travel show that I'm trying to get off the ground. Right now we're still raising funding for it. So this is just one of the things I can do to keep travel alive since we cannot currently travel. So this is how I'm keeping travel alive. I'm going to travel through food. Each month we are going to focus on a different country. And if you join the Patreon, which also link below, hint hint, you will also get your name in the credits, which you will see in mere seconds, probably minutes. And you'll also have access to one or two recipes probably that we're not going to be putting on the public YouTube channel. It'll be just kind of like a private thing for the Patreon. Like this month it's going to be, we're going to make anko, which is a red bean paste, and we're going to make taiyaki. And we're going to put the anko in a taiyaki. And if you want to see that, you'll have to be a Patreon member to access that. So check us out. Check out Namiko Chen, Just One Cookbook. Make Mitarashi dango in your own home. Check out our Patreon, our website, and our Etsy for Crossing Borders. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye!